Welcome to Better Conversations with me, Sehaam Cyrene, giving you the words and the confidence for better conversations in leadership. That's what I do in each episode. I explore strategies and I love sharing questions and phrases for you to play around with and make your own. This recording happens live at Better Conversations on YouTube, so you might like to chat with me there and drop me a conversation challenge. For today, leadership roadmaps. So my question to you is, do you have one? And is it in your head or do you have it written down? I'd love to know. I think early on in our careers, we tend to fall from one role into another one. We don't really think too much about it. But there is some really good reason for having a leadership roadmap, a growth roadmap, whatever you choose to call it. Even if you are yet to get into a leadership role, knowing where you want to get to, if you've got an idea that you want to be in a leadership role, really important to have one. If you are new to leadership, and you have taken on some direct reports, then another good reason, even if you're later on in your career, I have leaders who I support and I partner, and they've got an impressive years of experience behind them. They've achieved a lot, but they haven't got a roadmap. It's a pity because we miss a lot of time. We waste a lot of time being hesitant because we don't feel confident about maybe an opportunity that shows up that we weren't expecting, or we miss opportunities because, well, we're going to get into some of the reasons why it's important to have one right now. So let's do that. Okay, we're going to count backwards. I have 7 reasons for you, but I thought it would be make a change and a little less predictable if we started from number 7. At a very basic level, having a roadmap is uplifting in tough times, and for the reasons, the additional reasons that I'm going to share why it's important to have a leadership roadmap. It's important to know that we have options. It's important to know that we can course correct, that we can look at what we had planned or what we thought we were going to do, and know that we can maybe look at alternatives. Maybe something goes on pause for the moment just because it's not possible. For example, there isn't an opportunity for a promotion right now. So what are you going to do in the meantime? Yes, you could go and look for another role and move up that way, but also very often there are opportunities right in front of us that we don't take advantage of, like, working for an employer that actually has a really good industry standing, and that might work as a platform for you to get involved. Say you want to get into speaking, for example, that might be a great thing to take advantage of, to go and represent your organisation in that capacity and expose yourself to new opportunities, meet new people and so on. So number 7 really is to uplift us in tough times and give us a chance to course correct if things change. And the other thing is, no plan should be a final. It should always be a rough draft, right? Because life's unpredictable. The important thing here is that it's a tool for us to use to help us in our careers, work towards promotions and so on. Okay, number 6. Having a leadership roadmap, a career roadmap, whatever you wish to call it, helps us in our conversations with our boss. It's a really useful way of showing what your intentions are, what you're passionate about, the thoughts that you've given to where you'd like to be, how you'd like to contribute. So it's a really useful conversation tool for aligning with your boss on those goals and options. Okay. Number 5, having one means will give you the confidence to start some conversations early. so that you can socialize your ideas and start to make the ask. So if you want to be more involved in decision making, or you want to lead a customer facing meeting or workshop, if you don't have a roadmap, if you don't know why it's important that you gain certain skills, and I'll come on to that in a minute, then we don't know to make the ask, and we don't see where the opportunities might be, or where we might want to say, hey, I can do that, I'd love to do that. That would give me great experience in talking to customers, in seeing how decisions get made more strategically, or around finance, for example. And number 5, a truly, really important one, just being able to start those conversations earlier. Because, if we start those conversations earlier in our careers, we are going to progress faster. That's really important if we are ambitious. We want to make sure we are gaining the experiences and the exposure, and we want to capture as much and learn as much as we can in any given role, and know how we can best contribute as well to our teams and our organisations. To help you along with that is the Better Conversations rule book. In rule number 6, it's called More Haste, Less Strategy. Less haste, more strategy. We definitely want the strategy piece. We do want to slow down, and so there is a whole section there on how you socialize your ideas early, how you do that, and some questions and phrases that you can use to get the conversation started. So if you've already got the rule book, then head on over to rule number 6 and check out that chapter and the questions and phrases that are in the book throughout. You've got 88 questions in there and phrases to practice, play around with, and make your own. So do check that out. Okay, moving on. Number 4, having a leadership roadmap allows us, now that we've thought about, okay, these are the opportunities I'd like to capitalize on or gain, is to identify the allies that we need. So that those are your supporters, your mentors, coaches, family members, friends. These are all important people in our lives. And so if, for example, we want to take a course of some kind or volunteer in our community, then it's really important that we have conversations, especially with family, about what that commitment looks like and how you need them to support you, and why this particular activity is important. So that is another way that a leadership roadmap can help you in your conversations to make things happen. Okay, what do I have for you next? Number 3 is highlighting gaps in your skills. Okay, so I want to get from here to there. What is it that I'm missing in my skill set that I need? And that's going to help you in also figuring out what's priority for you to do in the time that you have. More on that again in a moment. But so highlighting the gaps in your skills, and then planning how you're going to close those gaps, what's going to be most important to do. And look, talking it through with your boss, talking it through with peers, your supporters, your allies, is a great way to learn from other people's experience. And maybe they can help you, maybe they can recommend something that now that they understand what you're trying to achieve. Okay, I wanted to share with you something from the Leaders Who Coach program. We talk about growth roadmaps, and it's quite a large part of the course, because as leaders we have to know what's important to us and where we're heading, so that we understand what we need to let go of, what we need to delegate more of, so that we can create that space for our own growth. Now, equally, if we're responsible for direct reports, we want to know how we can help them grow as well. So I just want to share with you a small graphic here. Let me open up the screen a little bit more so you can see. And it's really about identifying, thinking about, this is where you want to be. Say you're a manager and you want to get to a director level. Well, what does that What is that going to look like for you? Is that something that can be achieved in 2 years or a year and a half? And then think about the milestones along the way that you need to reach. And what does that look like? What are the skills that you need to gain by each milestone so that you can make good progress towards your goals and your plans? Okay, number 2, time to go and get those skills and allies, whether that is a certification, training in leadership, and I have something for you on that one as it happens, or exposure to decision making. And we can get those either through training or volunteering in some capacity. Volunteering might be in your community. It might also be stepping up and taking on or requesting or saying yes to additional responsibilities in your organisation, maybe working on a committee or collaborating with a different function or team on an internal project or a key strategy that's part of the business. And look, all of the thinking, everything that you do when you're working through a growth roadmap or a leadership roadmap will give you the confidence to go ahead and seek those opportunities out. So finally, oh yes, I spoke about a leadership program that you might be interested in. So I just wanted to share with you very briefly our course, Leaders Who Coach. Just share with you some of the things that people said. The fact that leaders on the program, we take surveys at the end of the course from everyone who graduates, and they report an increase in their self-awareness, their confidence, and their capacity to be in really important conversations around creating ownership by their direct reports, which then makes accountability so much easier. And then we stop avoiding those difficult conversations. We don't put them off because we're really clear of what we're trying to achieve and also what our direct reports are wanting to achieve, how they want to grow. That is for sure a big part of it. Finally, the number one reason, and I've sort of hinted at it already, which is that we gain clarity. Massive. It's really hard to move forward or make an ask or make a decision if we don't have clarity about why we're doing it, why it's important to us, and how it will help us. Having a leadership roadmap or growth roadmap is there to help you do the thinking. It's a tool, and like I said, it should never be a polished, finished article. It should be something that you revisit from time to time when you're stuck or having to make a decision, and revisit and remember the things that you have already thought about and that are important to you. And when you've done that, you'll have the confidence to, in the moment, sometimes be able to say, yeah, I can do that. I'd love to take on that responsibility without having to give it too much thought or missing the opportunity. Someone else putting their hand up and saying, yeah, I'll take that on. And so it helps you think about, the details. Is it a realistic plan? So if you think about that model, the video that I shared with you over an 18-month period, are those milestones realistic? What is the difficulty level or level of effort in acquiring those skills or doing that work? And then what's a logical sequence? Is it important that I do this before I then go and have a conversation with my boss next time about wanting to take on more responsibility? Do I need to show that I have achieved and done those things and I'm more than capable and ready to move forward? So there you go. I hope that was useful. If you like this video, do give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to us on YouTube, please do. I'll also pop up some additional videos related to this. One of them is a course tour of Leaders Who Coach, in case that's an avenue that you are considering. You want to become a coach leader, and that's so coach leaders are leaders who use the coaching skills of coaches like me, conversations, presence, energy, questions, listening, all that good stuff. They use those. So coach leaders use those skills, the very same skills. It's not about being perfect. It's about using them effectively in our conversations so that we can have really productive conversations and move things forward, create a forward momentum. So if that's of interest, do check out the course tour and the playlist associated with that. Fantastic. Thanks for joining me. I will see you next week.